Some ideas Japan has come up with are so smart that the moment you encounter them, you immediately wonder why the rest of the world hasn't done the same. Capsule hotels that feel like a luxury experience for a fraction of what a standard hotel room costs. A vending machine that peels and cuts a fresh pineapple into a spiral right in front of you in seconds. And fish stores designed like walk-through aquariums with landscapes so carefully arranged they look nothing like a shop. Japan doesn't just come up with better ideas. It builds them so well that by the time the rest of the world catches up, Japan has already moved on to the next one. Today, we're counting down 16 Japanese ideas so smart they should be global. Watch until the end because number 16, corn ice cream that somehow makes one of the world's most familiar vegetables into a dessert worth traveling for, is one of those ideas you'll wish existed everywhere. Number 1. Luxury capsule hotels at affordable prices. Japan's luxury capsule hotels transformed what started as a budget sleeping format into a premium hospitality experience that still costs significantly less than a standard hotel room, producing accommodation that competes with four-star hotels on comfort and design, while maintaining a price point that makes it accessible on any travel budget. The pods in premium capsule hotels feature memory foam mattresses, individual climate control, personal entertainment screens, blackout blinds, USB charging, and enough internal space to sit upright comfortably. The shared facilities include high-end bathrooms, lounge areas, and in some cases onsen or spa access included in the nightly rate. The design is taken as seriously as any boutique hotel. Materials, lighting, and spatial planning are all considered rather than simply functional. Japan took a format built for budget necessity and applied the same design discipline it applies to everything else, producing a sleep experience that makes most standard hotel rooms feel like they stopped trying halfway through the interior design process. Number 2. Pineapple cutting vending machines. Japan operates vending machines that receive a whole fresh pineapple, peel it, core it, and cut it into a continuous spiral strip in a single automated process that takes under a minute, dispensing the finished product on a stick ready to eat with no preparation, no equipment, and no mess involved at any point. You insert the pineapple, the machine processes it, and a perfectly cut spiral of fresh pineapple appears at the collection point. The entire fruit is used. Nothing is wasted. The spiral format means every piece is the same thickness and equally easy to eat directly from the stick. Fresh pineapple at the convenience and portability of a street food snack was previously impossible without someone with a knife and a board doing the preparation manually. Japan automated the entire process and put it in a machine small enough to sit in a market or a tourist district. Japan made fresh pineapple as convenient as buying a drink. Number 3. Coffee cones. Japan's coffee cones are freshly brewed pour-over coffee served directly into a waffle cone rather than a cup, producing a drink that you hold in your hand like an ice cream, drink from the top, and eat the cone as you finish the coffee. The cone is coated on the inside with chocolate or a flavored glaze that insulates it from the hot liquid long enough to drink the full serving without the cone softening or leaking. As you drink down to the bottom, the lower section of the cone has absorbed warmth and flavor from the coffee, making the final bites a direct combination of the two. No cup, no lid, no sleeve, no waste beyond what you've eaten. The entire vessel is consumed as part of the experience. Japan found a coffee format where the packaging is the last part of the drink, rather than the first thing you throw away, and produced something that makes drinking coffee on the go feel like a completely different experience. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever, everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even cooler. Number 4. Tachigui standing only dining. Tachigui is a Japanese dining format where customers stand at a counter, order from a machine or direct from staff, receive their food within minutes, eat quickly, and leave, with the entire experience from entry to exit taking as little as 10 minutes for a genuinely good meal. The format exists across ramen, soba, sushi, and tempura. The food is not a compromise. It's the same quality as the seated version of the same dish at a fraction of the wait time, and often at a lower price because the overhead of table service and dining room space is removed entirely. For workers with limited lunch breaks, commuters passing through a station, or anyone who needs a proper meal without the time investment of a sit-down restaurant, Tachigui provides an answer that no other format matches on speed without sacrificing on quality. Japan recognized that eating quickly doesn't have to mean eating badly, and built an entire dining category around that principle. Number 5. Fish stores designed as walk-through aquariums. Japan's specialist fish retail stores approach the display of live fish with the same care and design discipline applied to public aquariums, arranging tanks with natural substrate, carefully composed aquatic planting, and species-specific water conditions that produce environments so visually precise they function simultaneously as retail displays and as gallery installations. The water is crystal clear. The tanks are lit to enhance the natural coloration of each species. The layouts are designed to show fish in conditions that reflect their natural environment, rather than simply holding them in a box with a price tag. You walk through the store and the experience is closer to a curated nature exhibit than a shop. The fish are presented as living subjects worth observing, rather than merchandise waiting to be purchased. Japan applied the same attention to the retail display of fish that it applies to every other product category, and produced a shopping environment where the fish themselves are the attraction regardless of whether you intend to buy anything. Number 6. Portable paper soap sheets. Japan produces soap in the form of thin, paper-like sheets packaged in a small card holder the size of a credit card, each sheet dissolving instantly in water to produce a full lather equivalent to a pump of liquid soap, making hygienic hand washing available anywhere without carrying a bottle, a bar, or any liquid. You pull a sheet, add water, rub your hands together, and the paper dissolves completely into lather within seconds. No residue, no waste, no surface to dry out or go off. The card holds enough sheets for weeks of daily use and fits flat in a wallet or pocket. The format is particularly practical for travel, outdoor use, and situations where shared soap dispensers are unavailable or unhygienic. Japan made hand washing a carry-anywhere habit rather than a facility-dependent one. It's a product so practical that encountering it makes the standard alternatives, bars that deteriorate and bottles that leak, feel like they were never the best solution to begin with. Number 7. Asahi Super Dry Self-Foaming Beer. Asahi Super Dry's Namajaki, which translates as fresh beer mug, is a canned beer that produces a dense, creamy foam head the moment the lid is opened, replicating the draft experience from a can without any additional device or technique required. The inside of the can is coated with a specially engineered non-uniform surface. When you pull the entire lid off rather than opening a small drinking hole, the pressure change causes bubbles to form naturally against the interior surface and rise immediately to the top as a silky foam layer. The lid removes completely, leaving an open vessel with a smooth edge that you drink from directly like a pub glass, rather than sipping through a small opening. The foam forms before you've even raised it to drink. It took 4 years to develop, sold out across Japan within days of launch, and temporarily halted production because demand outpaced supply before the product had been on shelves a week. Japan engineered a can that pours its own foam, and the rest of the world has been drinking flat can beer ever since. Number 8. Massive arcade gaming centers. Japan's multi-story arcade centers, known as game centers, are not the dying format that arcades became in most countries. They are thriving entertainment destinations spread across multiple floors with hundreds of machines covering every gaming category, from rhythm games and fighting games to prize claw machines, racing simulators, and printing booths. The machines are maintained to a standard that makes them genuinely worth paying per play. New titles arrive regularly. The prize machine section stock merchandise that cannot be found in retail, and the skill level required to win is calibrated carefully enough to make success feel earned rather than impossible. Going to a Japanese arcade is a full evening activity rather than a brief distraction. The range is wide enough that different interests coexist in the same building. The atmosphere is genuinely energetic without being chaotic. Japan kept the arcade alive by continuing to invest in it as a legitimate entertainment format when the rest of the world walked away, and produced something that makes an evening in a game center a destination choice rather than a fallback. Number 9. Chocolate-covered bananas. Japan's chocolate-covered banana stalls are a fixture of theme parks, festivals, and tourist districts, serving fresh bananas dipped in chocolate and decorated with toppings that range from crushed biscuits and sprinkles to elaborate character designs painted in colored chocolate directly onto the surface. The base product is simple: a banana on a stick dipped in chocolate. The execution elevates it. The chocolate sets to a clean snap. The decoration is applied with precision that treats a banana on a stick as a canvas worth taking seriously. The character versions are the part that makes them worth stopping for. Hello Kitty, Pikachu, seasonal designs, and local mascots are recreated on the chocolate surface in a level of detail that makes them genuinely impressive as small edible illustrations rather than simply colorful toppings. Japan took one of the most straightforward possible combinations of fruit and chocolate and produced a street food that generates cues not because the concept is complex, but because the execution is better than it needs to be. Number 10. Kura Sushi Plate Disposal Game. Kura Sushi's plate disposal system replaces the standard stack and count method of tracking your bill with a slot at the table where you feed each finished plate. And every 5 plates entered triggers a capsule toy game on the screen that gives you a chance to win a prize. You eat, you slot the plate, and every 5th one activates a spinning game on the touchscreen display. A prize capsule drops down if you win. The plates are counted automatically for billing. The waste is managed at the table without staff involvement, and the disposal process itself becomes something you look forward to repeating. It turns clearing your own plates into an activity with a potential reward rather than a neutral obligation. The game is simple and the prizes are small, but the effect on the dining experience is real. Children specifically plan their orders around getting to the fifth plate faster. Japan made clearing the table fun and produced a billing system that customers actively participate in rather than simply wait for. Number 11. Anti-hangover drinks. Japan produces a dedicated category of pre- and post-drinking supplement drinks sold at every convenience store that contain compounds designed to support liver function, reduce acetaldehyde accumulation, and mitigate the next morning effects of alcohol consumption. The drinks contain combinations of ingredients including turmeric, liver extracts, amino acids, and B vitamins formulated specifically around the physiological process of alcohol metabolism rather than general wellness. You drink one before a night out, one after, or both, and the product is designed to reduce the severity of the hangover that follows. They are sold chilled beside the alcohol at convenience store registers, positioned as a routine purchase alongside a night's drinking, rather than a specialist health product requiring a pharmacy visit. Japan acknowledged that a significant portion of its population drinks regularly, identified the predictable physical consequence of doing so, and produced a product category specifically designed to address it that's available at 3 in the morning from the same shop where you bought the beer. Number 12. Animal-shaped crepes. Japan's animal crepe makers produce thin crepes shaped and decorated to look like specific animals, most notably hedgehogs and alpacas, with the crepe itself folded into the animal's body shape and details added in chocolate, cream, and sauce to recreate the face, texture, and expression of the animal, with enough accuracy that the result is immediately recognizable before you eat it. The hedgehog version uses chocolate drizzle to recreate the spine pattern. The alpaca version uses whipped cream piped to suggest the wool texture. The faces are added with precision enough that each one has a distinct expression. They're sold at specialist crepe stalls in tourist and shopping districts. The queue forms because people see others carrying them, rather than because they were looking for one. Japan applied the same design attention to a street food crepe that it applies to stationery and packaging, treating a folded piece of batter as a surface worth decorating properly, and producing a food that people photograph before they eat it every single time. Number 13. Diatomaceous earth bath mats. Japan produces bath mats made from diatomaceous earth, a naturally porous mineral material that absorbs water from wet feet almost instantly on contact and releases it through evaporation within minutes, remaining dry and ready for the next use without the damp, slow-drying, smell-accumulating cycle of a standard fabric bath mat. You step onto it after a shower and the surface feels dry within seconds of contact. The mat itself returns to a completely dry state within minutes of use without any wringing, hanging, or extended drying time. No mildew, no residual dampness, no bath mat that needs washing twice a week to stay hygienic. The material is rigid rather than soft, which is different from a fabric mat but not uncomfortable for its purpose. It requires no maintenance beyond an occasional light sand, with fine sandpaper if the absorption rate slows over time. Japan replaced a soft, wet, mildew-prone fabric square with a mineral that dries itself, and the result is a bath mat that stays permanently clean without any effort from the person using it. Number 14. Curved and spiral escalators. Japan operates curved and spiral escalators in department stores and shopping centers that follow the arc of a building's interior rather than running in a straight line between floors, allowing escalator infrastructure to be integrated into circular or curved architectural layouts that a straight escalator cannot serve without significant structural compromise. The engineering required to produce an escalator that travels in a consistent curve while maintaining the correct step geometry throughout the arc is significantly more complex than a standard straight escalator. Japan's manufacturers, primarily Mitsubishi, developed the technology and installed curved escalators in buildings where the architecture required them. The visual result is striking enough that the escalators themselves become a feature of the building, rather than simply a functional element within it. Shoppers ride them for the experience as much as for the transit. Japan built an escalator that goes around corners because the building needed it to and produced something that makes the journey between floors worth taking slowly. Number 15. Fruit-shaped bus stops. Japan's Konagai district in Nagasaki Prefecture operates a series of bus stops built in the shape of the region's famous local fruits, including a strawberry, a watermelon, a tomato, a melon, and an orange, with each stop constructed at full architectural scale with seating inside the fruit-shaped structure. The stops were built in the 1990s as a regional tourism initiative and have remained in continuous use as functional public transit infrastructure ever since. They serve their purpose as bus stops completely. They also happen to be shaped like fruit. The combination of genuine functionality and complete visual absurdity produces something that generates international attention decades after construction without any update or maintenance of the concept being required. They work. They look like fruit. Both things remain permanently true. Japan built bus stops shaped like fruit because the region grew fruit and someone thought it would be a good idea. And they were right in a way that nobody expected to still be talking about 30 years later. Number 16, corn ice cream. Japan produces soft serve ice cream in a corn flavor that uses real sweet corn as the base, rather than as a flavoring additive, producing a pale yellow soft serve with a genuine roasted sweetness that tastes unmistakably like corn while functioning entirely as a dessert rather than a savory item. It's available across Hokkaido, Japan's northern island, that produces some of the country's finest sweet corn, where the combination of local agricultural identity and soft serve culture made the flavor a regional specialty that visitors specifically travel to try. The flavor works because Japanese sweet corn is genuinely sweet rather than starchy, producing a natural sugar content that translates into soft serve without requiring significant added sweetener to make it dessert appropriate. Japan found a dessert application for a vegetable by taking the sweetest variety of it seriously as a flavor rather than treating it as an ingredient that belongs exclusively in savory contexts, and produced a soft serve that surprises everyone who tries it by being better than it sounds. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe, and make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more smart things.